Welcome back, folks. Our market movers this morning. We got, looks like Darden Restaurants is on a diet here.
Yeah, Darden Restaurants lowering guidance. They're killing the stock. 43.80 after closing at 47.73. So there's a stock that it's trading on 30,000 shares of volume too, which is a lot of volume for this stock. It closed right at resistance, which was $48. Obviously, just moving down huge here, so we're down over 10%, Joel. Well, we're down $4 here right now, 43.75. I would have thought some support would come in those, low 44s there, 44.70 area where we bottomed out there earlier this month. We've cut right through there, so maybe use that number for a swing number. Real support down the 42 area, but, we did have a bottom there around 43 too back in September. So what do you think, though, overall in DRI, Joel?
Well, interesting formation here for DRI. You would have thought this thing would have found really some support. There was a ton of lows, Dennis, in that area you mentioned, between 44.53 and 44.67. So I will use that as excellent resistance in the stock today. Coming back on the downside, I know you see something there in the 42 level, and I do see some minor support there. But the actual number is 41.91. Those are the real close to the October lows, 41.91 to 42.37. So let's call it major support at 42. Won't trade below 42 today. And if in fact it does trade below 42, 40.69 has been the low of the move.
Might as well just give you some numbers here on Brinker International too, which is EAT. It's getting a sympathy move obviously here. Stock closed at 24.30. It's offered at 23.98 right now. Offered 23.96. Doesn't appear to be any takers there. So, the best bid's down 23.02. So that could open a little bit lower with a sympathy play on it. I think you got major support on that one at $23.
Yep.
What do you think on EAT, Joel?
Yeah, I see that. I mean, it's got a gap to fill, the 23 area. Really between 23.14 and 23.42. So find good support at the $23 area. I mean, 21 cents, Dennis. It's not a huge sympathy move with it. So you gotta trade the leader, and then the leader is Darden Restaurants.
FRO Frontline doing a restructuring here, Joel. The stock is closed at 354. It's trading 456 right now. The funny thing is this stock got a huge pop there yesterday. Obviously, there wasn't really a heck of a lot of news. I was looking at it and I was going to talk about it yesterday, but I really couldn't find any significant news. Well, this looks like somebody had an inclination yesterday because the stock popped from $3 to $3.50 yesterday, now up $4.56. So, maybe that was out there that they were going to do something, and that's why it got the pop. I can't see that being totally insider to be able to move that much yesterday. So maybe it was just now they've just formally announced restructuring. They're going to form a new company here. So the shipper, who has just not been a good performer whatsoever, getting a nice lift here. Honestly, 450 on this chart is huge. We've got two bottoms there, one from October, one from November. That was where support was before. If you do the whole support becomes resistance area, we're trading right there. Obviously, this is, an ADR, so something to keep in mind is trading off its prices overseas as well.
Well, you got the gap to fill up to 509. So, I'd have to, bump that resistance up to the 509 level. Coming back onto that. I mean, if you honestly can't tell me that someone didn't have this news and started buying the crap out of yesterday, then I'm a monkey's uncle, because that's unbelievable for that stock to have, that kind of move yesterday. If it gets anywhere back near that 360 level, which was yesterday's high, look to fill the gap. But just because they're restructuring doesn't mean that they're ever going to make money.
3M doing a repurchase here, Joel, just came out a couple of minutes ago. So 2 to 2.5 billion of gross share repurchases they see for 2012. That's giving 3M a pretty good lift. It's trading 81.82 right now. This news just came out, so we don't really have a market for you on it yet, but we do have a few trades that went off 90 cents higher. 81.60 the high yesterday, so maybe you can use that for a swing number using that high. What do you think on 3M, Joel?
Well, when they do that, that means they send a market order to the floor right away on the open, right? To buy the stock?
Yeah, no, they sift through and they do her throughout the year, but the shareholders seem to like repurchases. I kind of think sometimes they're okay, but other times, they end up buying the stock at bad prices. So I guess it depends where they buy it, whether they're good for the shareholders or not.
All right. Well, this stock, since hitting that October low at 68.63, it's just been having one heck of a time here from 82.50 up to 83. I mean, someone has really kept a lid on this stock. I mean, actually, it hasn't traded much above 83.10 here. To get a print above 83.10, you would have to go back until September 1st of this year. So I'd let the rally continue. The stock's a pretty good mover. I'd say there's really not much until you get up to that 83.10 level, and then above there it certainly opens up. Coming back on the downside, besides not trading above this 83.10, this thing has not traded below 75.66 since mid-October. So this stock has been really range-bound, Dennis, really since October. So we'll have to see. I'll let it trade in between those two levels and should get a nice breakout in this stock over the next week or so.
Yeah, I'm just reading the headlines a little bit further from Fly on the Wall here. Earnings per share estimates, they see the full year for 2012. They're estimating now 625 to 650 versus consensus of 628. So, it's kind of forecast where the consensus is. So I don't know how much. I think probably what's giving the stock a lift is that share repurchase plan.
Correct.
But there's a lot of news on this. You might want to read the news yourself because sometimes people can read into it a little bit further. They're saying they assume no black swan financial meltdown in 2012. There's about 10 or 12 headlines that they've come out with here. So they're saying a lot. So, we're very early here after just them saying this stuff. So, it wouldn't surprise me if the stock, has a little bit, it moves away from where it's currently trading. BMO, which is Canadian Bank of Montreal, had earnings come out here. Stock had one trade go off at $59, which would be up a little bit, but it's offered at $58.70 right now. Closed at $58.83, so that offer at $58.70 isn't really been touched. It's been offered there for a while, so maybe they're going to open it down. It's hard to say. There's just no volume on this yet, but you just want to be aware if you're trading any of the Canadian banks, the other ones like RY, BNS, but BMO has earnings on it today. Sector, so keep an eye on it. Remember, it's probably following the Toronto prices, so if you have Toronto quotes, you might want to keep an eye on those. But BMO could have a little more volatility here today.
Okay, nice resistance forming here, 59 level. Snuck above it yesterday to 59.34. It gets above there, things definitely open up until the 60.10 level. But seems like a seller has stepped in here between 59.34. So first inclination, we use that area as resistance. Tight range in the stock yesterday, 58.53 low. I think you're good to go on the upside as long as you hold that 58.53.
Stock I want to talk about here just off of levels is Caterpillar, CAT. Yesterday that we pointed out, I pointed out over in the Bright Show, there's a level had 100,000 shares there, which is just huge for the stock. It topped out at 97.97. So if you're wondering why it topped out at 97.97, it's because all those high-frequency guys like to sell in front of that size. When you get a seller like that, of that size, it definitely impacts the stock. I don't see him there this morning, but I kind of think it's pretty early here yet. I think he might show up. Usually these sellers tend to, sometimes they don't show their hand. Maybe he's even hiding there. But regardless, at $98 is a huge level for this stock, so expect major resistance in the upper 97s here once again. But there is it's $86, so I think, some technical levels here would be good. Maybe Joel can give you some more technical.
Did you say how many was there at 98?
Yesterday was 100,000, which is huge for Caterpillar.
Isn't that ridiculous, Dennis, that 100,000 is a big order in these markets? I mean...
I know, Joel. You go back years ago, 100,000 shares order wasn't really much at all, especially on a stock like Cat. It is now, though, because nobody shows their hand. Everybody uses hidden algorithms. So the high-frequency guys see 100,000 share order, they're, oh, we got a seller, and they like to lean on size, and that's what they do. So you have to be aware of it. It's crappy that we have to talk and point stuff like that out, but that's how the high-frequency traders trade. So we need to know, what they're doing, and that's where they're going to be selling the stock. So, really, you just got to try to paint the tape on where they're going to be, and that's a predictable spot.
Jeez. All right. Well, this is in a high-frequency tizzy then, because, this 98 level, you're going back all the way to October 28th. We got up to, 97, 95 there, and 98.07 on the 14th. So, lid there at 98. If it can somehow get taken out there's really a lot of real estate in this thing to cover. Probably test the figure there at 100 if it can get through there. Also, kind of a similar chart formation that you have in the Triple M. Really been consolidating since the middle of October. Really haven't traded much below $89. I do see a low at $86.63 a few weeks ago. So kind of like a 8 to 10 point range here for Caterpillar. To see which way it's about to break out.
AutoZone, which is AZO, just reported earnings as well. There's no trades to report yet. Just came out about a minute ago. The close was 338.97. There is somebody bidding 339.33. They did beat off from an earnings perspective on the number. So you're looking at this chart here, 341.89, the old 52-week high. This is what they like to do. They like to take those 52-week highs out a lot of times, shake out, maybe trade a buck or two above it, shake everybody out, and then take them down. You see that play a lot of times, when there isn't. Obviously, if the earnings report's great, it just blows right through it. But when they're just beaten by a bit, wouldn't surprise me if something like that did materialize. So just think about that. I'm not, trying to predict exactly what's going to happen, even though I am. But so 341.89 is what you want to think about. That's probably where a lot of other people lean, and then they. But this is obviously stock that trades with wide spreads too, so it's kind of difficult to day trade this one.
Do you know, the stock had the PE on it. I know I'm throwing you under the bus again, but does this company actually make money because no one can afford to buy new cars and people are fixing their old cars?
I think that's why the stock has done so well over the last few years is exactly that reason. People aren't buying as many new cars as they did before. And a stock like AutoZone definitely does well with this. And if you look at the chart, Joe, over the last couple of years, AutoZone has just been a great performer. PE is only 16, which is reasonable. So, it's not like this is really a high, flying, multiple stock. The PE actually on this stock is quite reasonable. A stock that, AP, which is Advanced Auto Parts, so you want to keep an eye on that one for a sympathy move as well. But AZO with the earnings this morning should be your leader in that sector.
Yeah, I'll just echo your sentiments there. I'd be playing it alongside if it took out 339. I don't know if it's really trading at 339 right now. Actually 340. So if it holds 339, it's still good to the upside to test that all-time high. And, someone has to sell the all-time high. You don't know where it's going to be in this stock.
That's all I really have for you today. Obviously, it's going to be more movers like Men's Warehouse. We want to keep on MW after the bell has earnings. But, besides that, that's all I've got for you today, Joel.
Okay, just quickly, I noticed you had on the sheet. I didn't get to talk about it. This Goldman Sachs has been moving up, and just wanted to really point out a great area for our traders that are trading that stock. I know we're a couple bucks away from there, but this 102.40 level seems to be great resistance in that stock. So if a rally, expect a little pause there. That's our Market Movers show for today, folks. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Have a good day.